When life starts moving crazy, when everything around you spinning out of control, that's when you really see who's built different. Anybody can smile when it's sunny, but when the storm hit, only a few got the calm that don't break. That calm ain't weakness, that's power, that's control, that's discipline. You can't fake that energy. It's something that comes from being tested, from being torn down and rebuilt so many times you stop fearing the fire. You start walking through it like it's just part of your ride. See, people with that calm, they've been through something, they've already fought the wars nobody saw. That's why they don't flinch no more. They learned that peace don't come from what's outside. It's an inside job. You can lose money, lose people, lose everything you thought mattered, and still wake up solid because your spirit don't move when the world shakes. You learn how to breathe through it, how to think when emotions loud, how to move with strategy, not reaction. A lot of people panic because they never sat with themselves long enough to understand how strong they are. They think strength is about fighting back, talking loud, proving something. But real strength, it's in stillness. It's in not letting chaos touch your frequency. When the noise get high, you drop your energy low, calm, focused, centered. That's when you start to separate from people who move off impulse. You realize not every action need a response. Not every disrespect need revenge. Sometimes the real win is peace. And when you're in that mindset, life starts to slow down in a way only you can feel. It's like time being around you. You don't rush decisions. You don't chase approval. You see through everything. You peep the patterns, the motives, the energy. You start protecting your space like your life depend on it. Because it do. That calm becomes your armor. It keeps you from reacting out of pain, out of ego, out of fear. You understand that chaos is temporary, but your energy permanent if you keep it pure. You ever notice how people try to pull you into their storm when they can't reach your peace? They'll test you, provoke you, try to make you act out of character just so they can say you're like them. But you ain't. You evolve. You know what it's like to lose your cool and regret it later. Now you protect your vibe like it's sacred, because it is. You learn that every time you respond to negativity, you lower your vibration to meet it. But when you stay calm, you force the chaos to match your level, and that's when you win without saying a word. That calm energy ain't born overnight. It's built from pain, from betrayal, from nights you had nobody but yourself. It's built from silence, from patience, from grinding while people doubted you. It's built from understanding that everything you've been through was shaping your frequency. Now you move different, not because you're better than anyone, but because you finally understand your value. You don't need to prove nothing. You don't need to fight every battle. You learn the art of choosing peace over pride. When you operate from that place, people feel it before you speak. Your presence start commanding respect, not because you loud, because you stable. You walk in a room and the energy adjusts. People don't even know why they quiet down. They just feel that weight of control you carry. That's the type of energy that can be copied, that's earned. That's spirit over circumstance. The world will always try to shake you. Bills, fake friends, betrayals, pressure, it don't stop. But once you master calm, nothing can take you off balance for long. You might bend, but you don't break. You handle life like a chessboard, not a boxing ring. Every move got meaning. Every silence got purpose. You realize real power ain't about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself. So when life get loud, stay still. When people test you, smile. When the storm comes, don't run, breathe, watch, learn. Chaos can't break what's already centered. That's the secret most don't get. Peace is the real flex. The loudest one in the room, usually the weakest. But the one sitting quiet, calm, and focused, that's the one that already won. Sometimes you gotta disappear to find yourself again. Everybody out here chasing likes, noise, followers, validation, but the real ones know isolation is where you grow. When you start elevating, life's gonna pull you away from the crowd. It ain't punishment, it's preparation. You start realizing being around too many people dilutes your energy. Everybody got an opinion, everybody got a vibe, and if you ain't careful, you'll start losing your own frequency trying to fit into theirs. See, when you choose isolation, you ain't running from the world, you're running into yourself. You start hearing your own thoughts clearly. You stop moving for attention. You start moving for alignment. You figure out what really matters to you when the noise gone. That's when you learn who's real, who's loyal, and what dreams belong to you, not what the world told you to chase. Solitude ain't loneliness. It's discipline. It's clarity. It's power. When you're alone, you stop performing. You stop pretending. You stop needing people to clap for what you're doing. You realize silence is the loudest teacher. You start talking to God, to your vision, to your pain. You reflect, you build, you repair. parts of yourself that crowds will never let you face. The same people who call you distant don't understand that peace don't live in attention. Attention is short-lived. Peace is forever. Most people fear being alone because they never met themselves without distraction. They use people like noise to avoid that inner work. But when you face yourself, you unlock a different kind of confidence, the type that don't need approval, don't need an audience, don't need to explain. You learn that isolation builds focus, and focus is the foundation of every real success story. You can't build an empire if you can't spend time in silence. It's in those quiet hours you start seeing the bigger picture. You start recognizing the patterns, how attention pulled you off your purpose, how validation made you compromise your truth, how noise kept you busy but not productive. You realize the real flex is peace, not popularity. You don't need the spotlight to shine. Your consistency do that. When you grounded, your energy speaks louder than any crowd ever could. You ever notice how people disappear when you start focusing on yourself? It's because your silence exposes what was fake. When you stop entertaining low energy, it gets uncomfortable for people who still need chaos to feel alive. But that's cool. You ain't meant to be understood by everyone. Some roads are meant to be walked alone, not because you don't need love, but because your mission too heavy for weak company. Every visionary had a season of isolation. Every legend had to separate before they elevated. That's when you strengthen your faith, your grind, your discipline. You stop doing things for reaction and start doing them for purpose. You learn how to create in silence, how to move without broadcasting. You stop talking about what you're going to do and start doing it. Real progress don't need to announce itself. It shows up in results. People with high vibration don't chase attention because they already know who they are. They don't need the crowd to remind them. They don't post every move or seek validation and likes. They let their work speak. They let their growth speak. They understand that attention without purpose is just noise. It feeds your ego but starves your soul. That's why they'd rather be in the shadows building something real than in the spotlight performing something fake. When you start walking that path, it gets lonely, but that's where you get stronger. You start learning to enjoy your own energy. You find peace in silence, not fear. You start trusting that if nobody claps, you're still winning. You understand that the universe rewards patience, not popularity. Every great thing takes time, and isolation is where time becomes your ally, not your enemy. So stop chasing who's watching you. Stop worrying who forgot you. The people meant for your journey will meet you on your frequency, not on your timeline. Keep building in quiet. Stay grounded. Stay focused. You don't owe the world constant access to your process. You owe yourself commitment to your growth. When the noise fades, when the crowd moves on, when the lights go off, what's left is who you really are. And if you can love that person, build with that person, believe in that person, then you're already ahead of the game. Attention fades, cloud dies. But isolation, that's where you become unshakable. That's where you learn the art of moving in purpose, not performance. The world gonna see you when it's time. Till then, keep your head down, your heart quiet, and your spirit up. Real ones don't chase attention, they attract respect. There's something powerful about energy. It don't lie, it don't need words, it just speaks for you. When your vibration gets higher, people feel it before they understand it. You don't gotta announce who you are or what you've been through, your presence says it all. You walk in a room and the air shifts, the vibe changes. Some people get inspired, some get uncomfortable, but everybody feels it. That's what happens when you start moving in a different frequency. You start matching the world and start leading it. That energy didn't come easy. It came from pain, from growth, from transformation. You had to shed layers, ego, fear, insecurity, doubt, just to find the real you underneath. And now that you've tapped into that version, you can't go back. You carry light that don't need validation. You carry peace that don't need approval. You carry presence that don't need attention. It's something deeper, something built in silence, sharpened by struggle and fueled by purpose. See, people think energy is just vibes or moods. It's more than that. It's alignment. It's the reflection of what's going on inside you. When your heart and your mind start working together, your aura changes. You don't attract chaos anymore, you attract clarity. You don't chase people anymore, you attract respect. You don't beg for love, you attract loyalty. You stop forcing and start flowing. That's the unexplainable shift that nobody can fake. You ever notice how certain people drain you and others uplift you? That's energy exchange. When you're vibrating high, you start protecting yourself from anything that brings you down. You can't hang around the same circles anymore. Not because you're better, but because your spirit outgrew their frequency. Some people call you distant or cold, but they don't understand you just stop dimming your light to make them comfortable. Your energy's too real to be around fake connections. And it's wild because you don't even got to speak on it. You can walk in silence and still be the loudest one in the room. That's the kind of energy that comes from self-mastery. You stopped reacting, you started observing, you stopped proving, you started embodying. That's the shift. It's unexplainable because it ain't something you can learn from books or copy from someone else. It's earned through the battles you survived, through the nights you didn't quit, through the pain that taught you patience. When your vibration gets high, you start seeing life different. You read people without words, you sense intentions before actions. You see through masks, through fake smiles, through energy that don't align. You move with awareness. That's why peace become your priority, because you know energy don't lie. You rather walk away than argue. You rather let go than force. You rather be misunderstood than lose your balance trying to explain yourself. That's power. Some people won't be drawn to your energy like it's sunlight. They'll feel something around you they can't describe, a mix of calm and confidence. They'll want to be near you because you make them feel safe, motivated, alive. Others gonna feel threatened because your light exposes their shadows. That's part of it. The higher your energy, the more you trigger unhealed people. But that's not your problem. Your job ain't to fix them, it's to stay aligned. The shift changes everything. How you walk, how you talk, how you love, how you grind. You stop seeking outside approval because you realize everything you need already inside you. You become magnetic. Opportunities start finding you. People start respecting you differently. The universe starts opening doors that used to be locked. That's not luck, that's alignment. When your energy matches your purpose, things start falling into place naturally. But the key is to protect it. Don't let the world pull you back down. Stay intentional about who you give your time, your attention, your energy to. Not everybody deserves access to your frequency. Some people just want to feed off it. Guard your peace like it's your empire, because it is. That calm, that presence, that energy, that's your real wealth. You ain't got to prove it, you ain't got to preach it. Just keep walking in it. Let your silence speak. Let your aura teach. The right ones will recognize it, the wrong ones will remove themselves. That's how it's supposed to be. You don't chase connections, you attract alignment. You don't seek attention, you command presence. And that right there, that's the unexplainable energy shift. It can't be faked, it can't be copied, it's felt. And once you got it, the world can't unsee it. At some point, you get tired of the noise, the back and forth, the gossip, the fake competition. All that small energy that used to pull you in, you realize none of it mattered. You start seeing that drama is just distraction dressed up as excitement. It don't add value, it don't push you forward, it just drains your time and your peace. So you start detaching, not out of pride, not out of fear, but out of growth. You just move different now. When you're operating on a higher level, you stop reacting to everything that don't match your frequency. You don't chase explanations, you don't argue with fools, you don't try to fix what's broken in people who like being broken. You let them have the last word, you let them tell their story, you let them think they won, because real ones know peace ain't losing, it's choosing not to fight battles that don't pay nothing back. See, when you detach, it's not that you don't care, it's that you care about the right things now. You protecting your focus, your time, your energy. You start understanding that every argument got a price. Every negative reaction costs you something. So you start spending your energy wisely. You stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop defending your name in rooms you outgrew. You just keep building, keep shining, keep leveling up, because success gon' speak louder than any drama ever could. That detachment ain't coldness, it's maturity, it's discipline, it's self-control. You learn the hard way that reacting to everything keeps you stuck in loops that don't move you nowhere. People who love chaos gonna always look for someone to pull in with them. When you stop playing their game, they call you distant, arrogant, fake. But that's cool. Let them talk. You can't argue with energy that ain't evolved yet. You ever notice how peace feels uncomfortable when you've been living in chaos too long? It's like your spirit don't know how to rest. But when you finally start detaching, that peace starts to grow on you. You start liking the quiet, the stillness, the focus. You start noticing how light your life feels when you're not carrying everybody's mess. That's the shift when you realize your mental space is sacred and not everyone deserves a seat in it. People gonna try to pull you back into that old version of yourself. They'll test your patience, bring up your past, push your buttons just to see if you're still that person. But you smile, stay calm, and keep walking. You learn that reacting don't prove strength, restraint does. You don't move for attention no more, you move for intention. You don't get even, you get better. You don't clap back, you level up. When you detach from drama, you start noticing who was around you for peace and who was around you for chaos. Some people only love you when you're losing because it makes them feel better about themselves. But when you start growing, when you stop feeding their negativity, they can't handle it. That's when they start creating noise trying to pull you back down. Well, you already too focused, too aware, too grounded to go backwards. You ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. Let people talk. Let rumors run. Let opinions spread. None of that stop the work you're doing. None of that block the blessings meant for you. When your energy clean, the universe moves different for you. Opportunities start opening up. People start respecting you more. And your silence starts speaking volumes. That's what detachment do. It makes you powerful without having to say a word. That's the difference between reaction and elevation. Low energy need drama to survive. High energy feeds off peace, purpose, and growth. You stop looking for validation and start building values. You stop trying to be right and start trying to be real. You realize your time too expensive for nonsense. Every time you stay calm in a situation designed to trigger you, you win. Every time you choose silence over chaos, you raise your vibration a little higher. So now, when drama knocks, you don't answer. You let it ring. Peace too precious to risk over something that won't matter in 5 minutes. You move with purpose, speak with wisdom, act with grace. You walk away from noise not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to protect your peace. That's real power. That's evolution. That's how you turn chaos into clarity, pain into purpose, noise into nothing. You can't control what people say. You can't stop how they move, but you can control your reaction. You can control what you give energy to. And when you master that, you're free. That's detachment, not from people, but from the need to prove anything to them. You live in peace, you stay in purpose, and you let the world spin while you stay still. When you start living in alignment with your purpose, everything about you changes. How you think, how you move, how you respond to the world. You stop drifting and start directing. You stop surviving and start building. Life don't feel random no more. It starts making sense in ways it never did before. The struggles, the losses, the lessons, they all connect like puzzle pieces. You realize nothing you went through was wasted. Every moment was shaping you for this version of yourself. Purpose ain't something you find overnight. It's something you grow into. It's a process of unlearning who you thought you were so you can become who you meant to be. It's uncomfortable, it's lonely, and it'll stretch you beyond what you thought you could handle. But once you lock into it, there's no better feeling. You wake up with clarity. You move with intention. You stop looking for motivation because purpose becomes your fuel. When you align, you stop chasing trends and start trusting timing. You stop comparing your journey to others because you know your lane was built for you. You stop doing things for attention and start doing things with meaning. You understand that purpose don't always come with applause. Sometimes it comes with silence, sacrifice, and self-discipline. But that's cool because you know what you're building ain't temporary. It's legacy. Alignment means your mind, heart, and actions moving in the same direction. You're not fighting yourself no more. You're not forcing things that don't fit. You're not wasting energy trying to be everywhere or please everyone. You're moving from a place of clarity, not confusion. You start saying no more often, not out of pride, but out of protection. Your energy too valuable to waste on things that don't grow you. When you truly in tune with your purpose, opportunities start coming to you different. Doors you used to chase start opening naturally. You meet the right people at the right time. You attract situations that align with your growth. That's not luck, that's frequency. When your inner world is right, your outer world follows. That's how the universe works. It matches your energy, not your words. But staying aligned takes work. It takes consistency when nobody's watching. It takes faith when nothing's moving. It takes patience when everything inside you want to rush. You're going to question yourself. You're going to doubt your path. You're going to lose people who don't understand your vision. But that's part of the alignment. Not everybody meant to go where you're going. Some people were only part of your story to teach you who you ain't. Once you learn that, you stop forcing connections that block your direction. Purpose got a way of humbling you too. It'll break you down before it builds you up. It'll strip away the comfort, the ego, the distractions, just to make sure you're ready for what you asked for. That's why most people quit before they align. They want success without sacrifice, spotlight without struggle. But purpose don't work like that. It's a calling, not a convenience. It demands the best version of you, not the lazy one, not the scared one, not the one looking for shortcuts, the best one. You know, you in alignment when your peace becomes louder than your pressure. When you stop needing validation because you know what you're doing matter. When you stop trying to convince people to believe in you because you already do. When your moves start making sense, not just to the world, but to your soul. That's when you realize you ain't chasing no more, you're attracting. You're not hustling out of fear, you're building out of faith. And the crazy part, once you align with purpose, life don't get easier. You just get stronger. You start seeing challenges as lessons, not losses. You start thanking the pain for building your patience. You start seeing rejection as redirection. You stop asking why me and start saying try me. You know, everything happening for you, not to you. That mindset alone changes everything. Alignment with purpose is a lifestyle. It's waking up knowing your energy gotta serve something bigger than ego. It's walking in rooms and leaving them better than you found them. It's speaking life when the world speaks doubt. It's showing up even when it's hard because you know your steps ain't random. Every move got meaning. Every season got purpose. When you move like that, your presence becomes powerful. You inspire without trying, you lead without forcing, and you impact without needing credit. That's legacy energy. That's what alignment look like. You ain't chasing dreams, you living in them. You ain't begging the universe, you in rhythm with. And when you reach that level, nothing can stop you because you're finally walking in sync with what you were born to do.